Hey, welcome to the Anispective cast. If you're watching this episode first, I don't know why, but screw it. Let's talk about some Digimon.
Death wants to do a lead into this particular episode.
And I just want to start doing it as like a regular thing. I think it's just like useful, you know? Because it's
Okay, that's
like,
fair.
yeah, I feel like if you just click off video, it's just immediately like, here's the thing. It's
Maybe
like,
maybe people just want to hear
yeah.
our thoughts on this episode.
Maybe, I don't know. Cause it's also like in my mind I'm thinking of like the Chills top 10 thing, where it's like just starts up, you click the video, there's no lead and there's no introduction. Just immediately, number 10, Burger King foot lettuce. It's the most jarring crap ever.
I mean, I assume the topic is in the title. I don't think it's that crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know. It probably just feels more natural, right?
Fallout
Well,
series lets you
yeah.
thwart some major foes by calmly explaining why their plans are doomed to fail as long as you have hard evidence and sound reasoning. Yeah, you could
Yeah, that's
if you have
good.
if you have speech 100, you can just talk down the final boss.
Yeah, I really like that they do that. That's always been one of the things that's made me more interested in Fallout. But anyways, yeah. So Digimon stuff. So this episode freaking like, hey, Gizumon AT is here for real this time.
And it's stupid strong. It's
It
very
is
stupid strong.
absurdly strong. When Kurata says this is his masterpiece, he was not joking. This thing is a problem.
Yeah, and we know that it gets stronger.
Yes. Although I will say, we see its final form in this episode, so hey, that's something. At least it can't get much worse than that.
Oh, is its final form like what we saw right at the end?
Yeah, well, not right at the end. Its final form is XT. I think you're thinking
Oh,
of the other thing at the end.
he's talking about his other masterpiece or something, and it's in like a vat of some kind. I don't know. I couldn't tell what it
So,
was.
so should we talk about this for a second?
The thing in the vat or the episode?
The thing in the vat.
Sure, I guess.
Because
I mean, if
this,
you know what it
alright, just
is.
straight up, we'll get back to this, but it's like, oh yeah, episode is like, alright, they fight Gizumon and they have a big fight with him, and they eventually beat him, and Kurata leaves, and he's like, damn it, next time I'll get them. So yeah, no idea what this is.
Is it the rings? It has like rings around it. It's not Zed Millenniumon, is it?
Nope.
Okay,
Do you want to know?
I don't know. Maybe it'd be more fun to find out when it happens.
Okay, all I will say is, like, I immediately was like, oh, is that the thing? I saw it, and I'm like, oh, yup, it's that thing.
Okay.
Card game spoilers are super on point right now. Holy crap. I can't believe the card game spoiled this so immediately for me. Like, before this character even appeared. Oh, man. So yeah, freaking Gizumon AT just starts fighting, and yeah, it is a problem. It's just wrecking everyone. I feel like that's most of the episode.
Yeah, I think there's a few flashbacks. It could sorry. Ikuto's trying to come to terms with like fighting and hating the humans and all this stuff, and Mercuriumon just like look at the people you came here with and like their families and whatever. It's like, are they evil? Do you really hate them? And Ikuto determines that no, he doesn't. He doesn't hate all humans. He hates evil humans.
Yeah. My
And
brain thought,
then
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
and then we get Yatagarumon.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good, like, but yeah, Baron's like, my brain's been all correcting Gizumon to Gazumon, and I feel so dumb. Honestly, it's very confusing.
Yeah, it's like it's spelled like Giz Mon.
Yeah, and Gazumon's like a
it's just
different
Gizumon.
thing. Yeah. There's Gizumon, Gazumon, and Gizumon, which is this one.
Yeah, Gazimon is the little like dark rabbit thing.
Yeah, it's the little, I think it's meant to be like a little wolf. I think it's like a little wolf thing, yeah. And Gizumon's like the
Maybe.
frog. Yeah, I always got those two confused as a kid. And it really did not help that, like, in Digimon World 2, they first appeared in, like, a group together. So I'm like, oh, well, which is which? But yeah, Gizumon AT is just wrecking them, and it's a problem. We get more of, like, the freaking Lilamon death scream, because holy crap.
Yeah. Also, Lilamon has a physical attack. Who knew?
Yeah, I was not expecting Lilamon to form, like, an energy dagger from her hand that she can, like, stab things with. She forms, like, a beam dagger.
Yeah, then gets wrecked because they're all getting wrecked.
You know, like, I wasn't sold on the weird, crazy multi-shot attack, because it just didn't seem that effective. The more this goes on, like, as much as she's getting wrecked, the series is kind of selling me more on Lilamon now.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here's another cool power she can do.
Beam Dagger is really cool, the freaking pollen attack is kinda neat.
Although I kind of thought it was ridiculous when she tried it on this clearly mechanical creature.
And hey, you never know until you try. You have to try poison on the boss just in case. It's like
I tend to not try poison if it's clearly a robot.
Yeah, for what it's worth, the reason it doesn't work isn't because it's a robot, it's because Gizumon has had its heart shut, and it's just like, it doesn't feel emotions, it only, like, obeys commands. He has enslaved this Digimon and turned into a weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah, this thing used to be some other Digimon, and then Karada modified the crap out of it and turned it into this monstrosity.
Man, Lilamon seems like the type of character where it's like, if she was an antagonist, she would be a really effective and dangerous threat. But because she's a good guy, she can't be allowed to be as strong as she could be.
Hey, the pollen thing works on Meteormon.
Yeah, it sure does. But yeah, worth knowing, Gizumon just straight up also evolves again, because if things couldn't get any worse, it just kind of does.
Yeah, they were already losing, and the Karada, I think it's when Karada snaps that he evolves it again.
Yeah, it is a freaking ultimate form, before, like, just Ikuto gets his ultimate.
Yeah, this thing's weird.
Yeah, I don't know, how do you feel about the design? Like...
I think it feels very un-Digimon-like, and that is fitting for what it is.
Yeah. I like it well enough. It's not my favorite. I think there's been weird, like, I think there's been better weird lanky Digimon, but yeah, I appreciate it for what it is.
Its champion form looks more durable.
Yeah, I think the champion form looks better. I think, like, the champion form, AT, is, like, a way better design overall. Because it's, like, it still feels very, like, un-Digimon-like and very inhuman, but feels like... It feels more effective for what it's trying to be. Making it humanoid feels like a really weird direction.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, I don't know, maybe this form, like, AT looks more defensive because it is, and maybe XT is more offensive. But they blast at it with like all three of their ultimates, and it puts up like an impenetrable like energy barrier. So it's like, no, this one's crazy defensive too.
Yeah, it's just stronger. It just gained arms so it could fight in a more human way for some reason. And then it just spends its entire time shooting beams at people.
It's definitely very strong. It has it doesn't have just the like deletion beam or whatever you would call it. It also has just like a gigantic energy blast.
It's hard to pit people with the pinpoint deletion beam, but the big energy blast is good. That'll knock someone down.
I don't think he hits anybody with it though.
Yeah, because it's like, if you got hit, you just die, so it's like... It's always like, just it like grazes them and stuff. It's like always near hits.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, they struggle against this thing for a while Ikuto and Mercurymon are having their little discussion while Mercurymon's dying.
Yeah.
And Mercurymon is just after Ikuto like resolves to take out the evil humans instead of all of them. Mercurymon gets up and he's like, "All right, well I'm gonna die anyway." So then he charges at this thing and punches its like disintegration beam out.
Honestly, I like this, because it's like, oh, how do we beat this thing? It's so powerful. And then, like, Mercurymon just punches it in the face and clearly messes it up.
Yeah, he breaks the laser.
Yeah, it's like, he does damage, and the head's, like, sparking constantly. And, like, even Kara's just straight up like, oh, look what you've done to my wonderful creation, you brute.
Yeah, and this is where... Yeah, and then he fires... No, he doesn't break the disintegration beam because he uses it again. He breaks the giant beam.
Yeah, he just messes it up before it can, like, do the thing, and just does a bunch of damage.
Yeah, and then Mercurymon, and then it shoots the deletion beam at Mercurymon again and finishes him off.
Yeah,
and
we finally.
And that's when Ikuto. You go ahead. Go ahead.
We finally get Ikuto's like whole thing. Wait, mute? What?
Mute.
What? Okay, why is it mute? Because it says I have sound, right?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, hang on. Like, yeah, if this is an issue, we actually need to address this. Can you hear us say anything? Like, just... Oh, okay. Alright, so we're not mute. Okay. Yeah, you scared the crap out of us. What the heck? It might just be on Discord's and you're like, think you accidentally muted it yourself? Yeah, probably. I don't know, because I can't imagine what would... Found what was. Okay, yeah.
Did you accidentally hit the space bar or something?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or whatever. Oh, no, so, it's if you're not... I believe if you're not typing in the thing in chat, if you hit M, I think it'll mute the stream.
Yeah, that's a thing.
So maybe they weren't tabbed into the thing when they were going to type. Anyways,
yeah, apologies to anyone watching, but yeah,
it's all good.
Ikuto finally gets his evolution, and man, watching through these, I was like literally thinking, okay, when's it going to happen? Like, when's it going to do the thing? And it's like, I was getting to a point where I'm like, okay, this is getting kind of absurd. If we were watching this week to week, we would be kind of annoyed at this. And then it happened, and it's like, okay, you know what? At least we finally got there.
Yeah, Yatagaramon happens in a big pivotal moment. And then I was kind of worried when I watched the episode. It's like, is he going to get the ultimate and it's going to kill it on its own despite how powerful it is? And kind of, but it's not until after Mercurymon, who is a mega, really trashes this thing.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to do it.
Ikuto and Yatagaramon finish it off. And surprisingly, Gizumon leaves behind an egg.
Yeah, it is an altered Digimon.
Yeah, I guess technically it is still a Digimon, but will it be reborn as a Gizumon or its original form?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'd imagine, like, what if it just never gets reborn because the data has been tampered with so much that it's just stuck an egg now until it can, like, revive it as a Gizumon? Because I have to imagine, like, this is pure speculation, but I have to imagine it's like the deal is that he's not literally taking like, you know, a Gabumon or something, turning it into this. He's taking like just raw Digimon data and like molding it into this type of design, right?
Well,
Like
the
he's
implication,
taking like, yeah.
well, the implication, like the way he talks about it, it sounds like he took a Digimon and modified it.
Yeah, but we've
Like he,
seen multiple proto Gizumon at this point and they look identical.
I mean, that's probably uh just for the sake of like, here's this recognizable enemy Digimon thing. Like, they all look the same because they have to. Um, I don't know. It's just the way Karada talks about it, where he's like, I modified a
Yeah.
Digimon and closed off its heart and whatever, so it'll only do what I say.
I created a shadow Digimon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the shadow Pokemon thing basically. Um, but
Because
it's yeah, it really
Gizumon Cap does
it
this.
really it really sounds like he took a Digimon and he could have altered its code to change it radically from what it used to be.
Yeah, I imagine it's like you take an existing Digimon and you alter the code and then it like transforms like into this specifically, as opposed to us being like, you know, oh, we took a Digimon and it's like it's inside the ball or something. Like, I have to imagine it's like he broke it down into the code and literally like forced it to basically like side digivolve into this, you know. Maybe even like merge
Yeah,
several Digimon together or something.
yeah. This thing is not what it used to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's just, and like we never see it again after this series, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
So it's like it's probably as unnatural as it looks.
Cav
Heck,
is, yeah.
heck, maybe he even altered mechanical Digimon to do this.
Maybe, yeah. Would have been interesting if this was an original plot for a new man-made mon, kind of like how Gizon was for how Gilmon was for Tamers. The same that it's a shame they didn't go for that. Yeah. Imagine if like Takado's like, oh yeah, I need to make my own Digimon. And he's drawing on the paper and it's just proto Gizumon. It's like, yeah, it'll be like a ball and it'll have a beam that destroys other Digimon. It'll
Then
erase
he,
them from existence.
well, then Takado would be the villain of that series.
He has this whole thing where instead of being like, oh, Guilmon's so scary, it's like, oh, Guilmon can't use the beam because that kills people for real. It's too destructive. He's like, I can't believe I gave it this stupid thing.
I was just doodling to pass the time. I didn't think a thing was gonna happen like this.
I want my OC to be edgy. I didn't want to be this edgy.
Blue card's just like, nah, I can read your intent.
It's just Kid Trap be the best tamer. Just turns into freaking Gizumon XT and gets ready to fight freaking like Beelzemon.
Oh no.
Oh no. Beelzemon's just shooting at it. It's just firing the beams non-stop. Takado's still like biomerged into it.
Like, no, stop.
No, don't. Man. Yeah, it's like, well, if that's like the deal, it's like XT is like the dark evolution where it's just destroying the entire digital world by just murdering Digimon. And you like gets the real form and it's just Gizumon, but it's a knight. It's just a knight now.
It doesn't have the erasure beam anymore. It's like, this is the good version where it doesn't have the beam that deletes Digimon.
It somehow turns into medieval Gallantmon and he's like, oh, huh. Oh man. I do want to mention, speaking of evolutions, yeah, the way this thing evolves looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
That's really unique. Like, it just glows with dark energy. First off, I should mention, like, Karada specifically points out this isn't a real evolution. It's like a proto-evolution, which
Yeah.
explains why it's so weird in the card game and why it's like you don't literally evolve. You literally, like, delete the previous form and then play the new one from your hand. And it's like,
When
you
you
know, a different method of, like, yeah.
when you're saying you like the evolution, you're talking about Yatagaramon or
The way
Gizmon?
Gizumon, like, evolves into
Okay.
XT, yeah.
Yeah, Gizamon's evolution is like really trippy looking.
Yeah, like, he forms the freaking this evil-looking data rat, like, dark purple. Like, it freaking makes the screen go black, becomes pure white, reshapes into the thing, and then it turns into this weird, like, infrared, like, heat signature view for the final thing before, like, the screen changes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't get like a full on actual Digimon evolution sequence like we're used to. It's just this weird thing, and it makes sense that it's like weird.
Yeah, it's like he's literally hacking into his Digimon to make it stronger. It's what if Izzy but evil?
Pretty much.
Oh
And
man.
Karada had like multiple Digivices, right?
Yeah, cause it's like I think all of his men had one so they could like realize a Gizumon.
Yeah.
So they could make it appear. Yeah. I like how
Yeah,
it's like
so it's
it
like
doesn't even look like a real Digivice. It's like it's got the shape, but it's got this big weird wire like connected to something in his coat, and it's like, alright.
yeah, and like it sure is a good thing he didn't realize more than one of these because they never would have beaten them.
Yeah. Yeah, can you imagine if like Chromon had to fight like 5 of these at once? Like 5 Gizumon ATs?
He wouldn't have won. The resolution to this episode would have been he swoops down, grabs everybody, and they fly out.
Yeah. Man. As before we like go over else, like yeah, thoughts on Yagurasumon?
He's cool.
I I'm still not completely sold on him. I think the 3-legged thing is weird. I know it's part of mythology, but no. Just seeing a third leg come out of his butt just always feels odd to me. Like, I feel like if you just erase that third leg, I'd like it a lot more. I get why they wouldn't do that, because that's the entire reference, but yeah, I
Yeah,
know. It just hits odd.
I think it. Yeah, I think it's fine
Yeah, the
because
goofy
it's
butt leg.
like you said, it's a mythological reference. Even his attack, there's like there's a really long translator's note when he uses his special attack, explaining that his attack is named after a sword that some hero used while fighting alongside the Yatagarasu.
Yeah, that's a cool detail. I like that it's like a whole thing. It's like, oh, it's the blade of this hero, and it's like the first emperor, and it just blasts a Digimon with a laser.
Yeah, it's not a sword, weirdly enough, but hey, it's named
Yeah,
after it.
fair. You know what? If we've learned anything from Digimon Frontier, it's that beams can be swords, and swords can be beams. Oh man.
Oh, uh, was this series of episodes the first time we saw Galga Tornado?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
When he's fighting Meteormon, it's like he traps him in the tornado, and or no, it's Zudomon. He traps Zudomon in the tornado, and he's like going around him super fast and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
punching him.
Oh, I mentioned this. He just becomes a whirlwind of fists.
Yeah,
Sword beam.
also I like the ways that like Gizmon gets like enemies off of it. Like it does like these weird
Yeah.
moves.
It's such a cool, like, I feel like they held this really well, because of course, like, Gizmon XT just is, like, too complicated to really animate, but Gizmon AT is, like, very easy to animate, because it's just a ball with little things.
Yeah, like there's a scene where Rise Greymon pins down Gizumon AT, and like it just kind of spins like the weird tentacle things coming out of it,
Yeah, it
like
just does this
really
weird
fast.
helicopter buzzsaw thing. There's a bit
Yeah,
where it like grabs onto the back of like Mock Galgamon, and it's like Lilamon tries to hit, and it like electrifies.
yeah. It's
Yeah, it's so cool to watch.
yeah, it's a fun quote unquote Digimon to
Yeah.
watch fight.
You know what, I feel like I was kind of a bit lackluster. No, the Gizmon AT is a cool design. I actually like it a lot now that I think about it.
Yeah,
Like,
I think yeah, we
yeah.
mentioned it before. I like it more than XT.
All the weird bullcrap it does kind of does sell me a lot on this thing.
Yeah. And I've kind of shown my preference for like bulkier Digimon, like how it's like I think Gargimon is cooler than Andromon.
Man, I feel like all I would have wanted is as one in the card game. I wish they gave it some ability where it's like if it kills a Digimon, it returns them to the bottom of the deck instead of the graveyard. I wish they could have got that in there somehow in the game balance. So they would
So
be
that
like,
it's
oh, it's like erasing them from existence. You can't even bring them back.
well, if you wanted to do that, then the Digimon card game would have to have like a it's like Yu-Gi-Oh has like the graveyard, and then
Yeah.
there's like remove from play.
For what's worth, being put at the bottom of the deck is as close to removed from play as you can get, because you're nursing that card again.
Mm.
Unless you're, like, close to decking out, yeah, no, that's not showing up.
Yeah, but then you could potentially I don't know, I figure maybe there's card effects that make you shuffle the deck.
No, it turns out there aren't.
Oh, well okay, yeah.
Yeah, if something's, like, put on the bottom of your deck, you have to literally, like, redraw that card or, like, mill so hard that it, like, goes back through.
And
Because
I
it's
assume
like,
if you
yeah.
I assume if you get to the point where you run out of cards, you lose.
Oh yeah, straight up. And that's why Beelzemon's a really cool deck that's surprisingly hard to get a good build for. Because the pro is that really wants you to discard cards, but the con is that, man, if you discard too many cards, you're kind of screwed.
Right.
But it's a really fun deck, though, because, oh boy, if you discard those cards, though. Oh, man. Just throw away your entire deck, and then, like, as you're throwing away, like, 10 cards, you hit, like, 5 things that give you, like, +1 memory, and, like, put themselves in your battle area, and let you, like, draw cards from the trash, and do, like, all kinds of other nutty bullcrap. You know, and you have, like, deletion effects and free Impmon plays and stuff, and you look over, and it's like, oh fuck, I only have 5 cards left. I better end this now, or I'm going to kill myself in the card game by just running out of cards. Oh man. But yeah, anything else we have to say out this episode?
Nah, we already talked about like what is essentially the end episode stinger, where it's like, hey, look at this thing in a tube.
Yeah, man, this is a good one. This is a good, like, just fight against, like, Gizumon.
This series of episodes is neat. I hope the next 3 kind of line up similarly, and then it'll go back
Yeah.
to things being lined up in 2 episodes at a time.
Next week basically starts the second half of Savers, which kind of changes the structure a bit, and we get into it. So it's really interesting, into some really interesting concepts. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely got that impression. Because it's like, Lucky, did you see the next time on?
No, I don't watch them for savers for some reason.
Do you want to know about it?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Next time on, they go back to the real world, and, like, the government is like, hey, you messed up with, like, Karada's plan, get screwed.
Mm,
And it's like, the implication is that the main trio gets flashy thinged.
that sucks.
Like, the implication is they get memory wiped, and that the episode is them, like, fighting through it to regain their memories. And they're all, like, wearing unique, like, outfits, and they have, like, different casual wear. And it's like, there's a new ending where they're all wearing the new clothes. So it's like, we've gone through the Dats arc, it's time to go into the Demon Lord arc. It's time to go into the Dats Rebellion arc. We are post-Dats. We have, like, we're gonna cut free from the system and do our own thing. And that's why, when I saw the operators in the card game, they were wearing new outfits. Because everyone's gonna get their Season 2 outfits in the second half of the season.
Sick.
I'm so excited for it. It's gonna be so cool.
I hope they kill government, man.
Can you just imagine? It's like just episode 26 or whatever. What's this? 25? Yeah. Episode 27. They just show up and Masaru punches Garment Fan in the face so hard that he dies.
It just breaks his neck and kills him.
That's what you imagine. It's like, image of Masaru next to Garment Man. He does one punch, and the head just does, like, a crappy, like, just YouTube edit, like, 360, just and flies off.
And then there are no repercussions for this. The series continues, and everyone's happy.
Yeah. It's like the next 30 episodes are just everyone just hanging out and eating ice cream together. There are no more problems. We defeated the evil.
Well, no, then they gotta punch Karada's head off, and then everything could be good.
Yeah, and we get the last 10 episodes, and it just becomes like a slice of life, like rom-com type of deal, where they're fighting over Yoshino.
Oh no. Also, I don't know how I didn't notice it before, but Yoshino has like a catchphrase, and it's just her saying, "This is the worst."
Oh man, that's a good catchphrase. I appreciate it. I love
think at some point she says like, this is kind of the worst. Like it's just like, okay, she keeps saying it. They're trying to make it a thing.
I love that Karada has a freaking catchphrase because he keeps saying it's showtime in like English, and I love it.
I always love the stupid like English thing.
Yeah. Oh man. Listen, all I know is that, like, whatever the heck is coming up is a bunch of lore and card entries and effects and various things, where it very specifically says that it kills anything that's an ultimate or lower, and that is, like, a constant. So I'm very interested to see how that has spoiled me on the series.
Been there for a while, but yeah, it's not a bad one. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of just noticed that she says that a lot.
I kind of, is it bad, like, is it weird that I kind of wish Yoshino was, like, more done with shit?
Like she's tired.
Yeah, I kind of want to just be, like, more tired and more just kind of done dealing with these idiots, Because, like, I feel like that'd be, like, a more fun personality.
If like she was also, if her and her Digimon were also more competent.
Yeah, like, they're just, like, the ones who have to clean up after, like, Toma and, like, Masaru's messes or whatever. And they're just, because I feel like that's, like, not bad characterization. Like, she's just sitting at Dat's headquarters, just alone, bored, just looking at cats. It's, like, her only joy in life. And Masaru shows up like an idiot and wrecks the computer. She's like, come on with this. It's
yeah,
like,
and
really?
I mean, it would also play into the idea that she is the first field agent or whatever that Dats has.
I think it'd just be fun to have her be like constantly just overworked and just done with everything. I think there's a lot of good gags you could get out of that. But yeah, anything else we really want to say about this?
I think that's about all I had.
Alright, well, I guess see you guys around then.
Yep. Later.
Later. Feel they not really thought through all the stuff they could do with Yoshi. Yeah, boys, good night. Yeah, later.